Decisions. Which one should you pick? What's going on, everyone? So recently I managed to get my hands on a PlayStation 5. Don't ask how, I just was fortunate enough to find one. So this gave me an opportunity to revisit this comparison against the PlayStation VR against the latest and greatest, the Oculus Quest 2. And so instead of just simply comparing the specs between these two headsets, I'm gonna go ahead and save that for last, as all I'm gonna do is just share with you my gaming experience between these two VR headsets, talk about the pros and cons, and the benefits that the PlayStation VR headset has to offer when you have it plugged into the PlayStation 5. So you can have a better understanding in which one of these is the best choice for you. So yeah, you did hear me right. This older PSVR headset is fully compatible to be used on the latest and greatest PlayStation 5. It just requires you to order an adapter for the camera to plug in the PlayStation 4 camera to the PlayStation 5. And no, for some reason, the PlayStation 5 camera is not compatible with the PSVR. But Sony will ship to you for free the adapter needed if you go onto their website and just simply enter the PSVR serial number, and Sony will ship it to you within a week or two. That's how long it took mine to arrive. But once you get it, it simply just plugs in like so, and the process, the wiring, everything is identical to the PS4. And if you own a few physical disc copies of some PSVR games, as long as you have the physical version, the physical disc version of the PlayStation 5, it just simply slides in like so. It copies the game and it's playable. So you don't have to repurchase any games whatsoever. So wiring everything up, that is a massive con that I don't like so much about the PSVR. The amount of wires that's needed and the space to actually have a full playable space for your PSVR is ridiculous. There's a massive box that takes up space, and then all these wires are all over the place. It just leaves a big mess in your play zone. Meanwhile, the Oculus Quest 2, it's an all-in-one VR headset. All the sensors, everything that's needed to operate this thing is all built into the unit, so there's no need to have external wires or sensors anywhere. The headset is literally all that you need. Because as you see, there's outward pointing sensors right here where these camera holes are. That'll basically monitor everything automatically. So you can literally power on the headset, put it on, and you're good to go. Again, I'll talk more about the internal specs in a little bit. After I talk a little bit more about the experience having the PSVR hooked up to a PlayStation 5. Now the biggest improvement that I noticed when gaming with the PSVR on the PlayStation 5 is that the loading time is noticeably quicker, especially for free roaming games like Skyrim. This quicker load time experience really does make the entire gameplay feel more immersive than ever before. And instead of using those outdated Move controllers, which I'll talk more again in a little bit, I personally find playing Skyrim with the new PlayStation 5 controller a lot more comfortable. Just unfortunately, even though the PS5 does have a new GPU, but the render distance and such, after comparing it against my experience with the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, the texture from a far distance and the render distance is exactly the same. And the graphics, in my opinion, these graphics still feel like I'm playing on the last gen consoles, 2 gen ago, the PlayStation 3. That's how I'll compare the graphics on Skyrim VR. But it's cool that you're still able to use the PSVR even on a new PS5. And I also like the fact that with the PlayStation VR, everything that you see in this VR headset is all displayed automatically to the television, so anybody around can also view what you're seeing. The Oculus Quest also has this feature where you could cast the video feed that you're viewing the VR headset to an iPad or a smartphone, as long as the Oculus Quest application is installed. You can also cast whatever you're seeing through the VR headset as well on the TV with a Chromecast. And this also includes the brand new Google TV. But based from my experience, I think I noticed some televisions, some smart TVs have a built-in Chromecast. Unfortunately, not all of them are fully compatible, like mine. Mine is unable to cast this, so I have to buy a separate stick. Now, this being a PlayStation 5 that we're connected to, some PlayStation VR games are actually receiving enhancement updates and improvement in texture. One of these few games that is receiving these updates is Blood and Truth, which if you haven't picked up this game yet and you own a PSVR, you need to. This game is extremely fun. It's honestly one of the few games that will take advantage of the PSVR to its full potential. It's a story-driven first-person shooter that really does make you feel fully immersed when playing, as you have to take cover, duck. It's just an overall very fun game. But I have noticed the enhancement in not just loading speed, as I previously mentioned, but the texture, the skin tone, even the far distance of certain objects. It looked good. But unfortunately, since it relies on the Move controllers, it still suffers a complaint that I said previously in some of my past PSVR and Oculus Quest videos. Because the headset itself is okay, it does an excellent job in terms of tracking your head movement. Just the Move controllers, unfortunately, are so outdated. In case you don't know how they work, it basically, the quick summary is this. These color balls on top, the camera uses that to track the controller to know the position that it's in. Yes, it does have built-in sensors like a gyroscope and such, but it needs the ball to be always exposed for the camera to track properly. Most of the time, especially when playing these type of first-person shooters, if the controller is being covered by an object or your body, it has an extremely hard time tracking the position that the controller is facing, which makes shooting impossible and sometimes just glitches out like so. This happens very so often, and it's very annoying. Now, the Oculus Quest Touch 2 controllers is not just extremely comfortable to hold, also has unique finger tracking features as it literally tracks your thumb somehow inside this little inner ring, but never once had this issue whatsoever. The tracking is on par. It's just absolutely incredible on the Oculus Quest 2. I would literally say it's like 8 generations ahead compared to the PSVR, which is shocking because the Quest 2 starts at $299. Meanwhile, the PSVR I've seen fluctuates between $250 to $350. Usually it depends on the bundle that it's packed in. Sony likes to throw in 2 or 1 additional game to bump up the price. But normally that's the price point for the PSVR. So these two are not that far apart. So for the same cost, in my opinion, the Oculus Quest 2 offers a lot more. And let me elaborate a bit more. Its safety features. There's a lot more safety features than what the PSVR has to offer on the Quest 2. One of which is the Virtual Guardian, which is an invisible barrier that you draw with your controller that the headset itself will remember and will show you as soon as you're leaving the play zone. This way you don't bump into furniture or damage your television. As soon as you go outside the play zone, you will not only see lines highlighting that you're about to leave the play zone, but will quickly switch to the external cameras and allow you to see everything that's around you, so you can safely make your way back in the play zone. This feature can also be toggled on demand by simply tapping either the right or the left side. The cameras itself will track your hand and will know whenever you want to quickly enable that. It will enable the pass-through mode so you can see everything that's around you. And if you're unsure how pass-through mode looks like, you'll basically see everything in black and white. It's really trippy because it kind of gives you like an Iron Man AR experience, but it works surprisingly very well. In addition to that, other unique tracking feature that the Oculus Quest 2 has to offer is actually has individual finger tracking on your hands. So yeah, you heard me right. It could track your hand and will also be able to track your individual fingers. And some of these games actually have hand tracking support already integrated, which means yes, you can simply put on the VR headset without your controller and navigate the menu to not only be able to watch YouTube videos, Netflix, browse the internet without having a controller on you, just a VR headset, to basically use this thing as your own personal mobile entertainment system. So it does more than just simply play VR games. And in terms of safety feature, the PlayStation VR does not have none of that. That's another reason why I say the PSVR is a couple of generations behind when you compare it against something like the Oculus Quest 2. And yes, one can argue that with the Oculus Quest 2, you have to remember that you charge it or else it won't work. And yeah, that does kind of suck, but you gotta consider the Quest 2 under a single charge can last anywhere between 2 to 3 hours. And in my opinion, when playing VR games, that's more than enough time that you ever need. But if you do, for whatever said reason, need to squeeze out more juice, you can have the VR headset plugged in directly to the wall. Or you could plug it into an external battery bank and have it on your person while you're gaming. So unlike the PSVR, where it requires multiple cables, if you want to play this for 24 hours, you can just plug it in by one simple cable with the USB-C port on the side and just plug it into an external power source. And other unique things that you could do with this thing is if you own a gaming PC and you want to utilize your desktop processing power, you can hook up the Oculus Quest headset to your PC and play your favorite Steam VR games thanks to Oculus Link or other VR PC games you want to play with this headset. It supports that, and you can also do it wirelessly as well thanks to cool applications like virtual desktop. Another thing you really can't do is the PSVR headset. And then in terms of gaming library, in the past, yes, the PSVR did have a larger gaming library to select from, but now it got to the point where all those popular games that are available on the PSVR are now available on the Oculus Quest 2. And now the Oculus Quest 2 is also receiving a lot of new exclusive games like Star Wars. And some of those well-popular games that were available on the PC VR side, like on Steam, is now slowly making their way to the Oculus Quest 2 store as well. So the gaming library is constantly growing on the Oculus Quest. Now, the Oculus Quest, it is an all-in-one unit. Again, it's an all-in-one headset, which means it's powered by a processor. The processor of choice inside this one is a modern processor. It's a Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 and has 6 GB of internal RAM. With this internal spec, this VR headset is more than capable to do multiple things at the same time, not just tracking your room, loading up games, hand tracking, and it's able to record everything while doing all this at once. And very recently, Oculus added a new firmware update that gave this VR headset the ability to track your calories you burned. That is really great because there's a lot of fitness applications, gaming apps you could download as well in this VR headset. One of which is this VR boxing style game. It's extremely fun and very enjoyable and extremely competitive as well, as this game allows you to play multiplayer across other VR headset users around the world and compete against a high score. It's basically like airboxing. This was my game of choice when this whole lockdown began earlier this year. So this is another great selling point about the Oculus Quest 2. The PlayStation VR does offer some cardio-based style games, one of which is Beat Saber, but this is also available on the Oculus Quest 2. So with that said, in my personal opinion, keeping it all unbiased, it's obvious, it's clear, the Oculus Quest 2 offers a lot more compared to the PSVR. And it's also way more affordable, as it's not required for you to buy a gaming console to hook this thing up to anything. And resolution wise, yes, the PSVR does have an okay resolution, as the pixel per eye is 1080 by 1200 and has a refresh rate that could go up to 90 to 220 Hertz. It is an OLED display. It does have a very noticeable screen door effect. The Quest 2, on the other hand, the image quality is extremely clear for an LCD display. It doesn't suffer the screen door effect, as it's naked to the human eye, and has a slightly better resolution per eye, as it's rated to have an 1832 by 1920, and it can go up to 90 Hertz. So yes, overall, the Oculus Quest 2, in terms of games, features, ease of use, easily makes this into the best value VR headset currently available in the market. And before I forget, both of these VR headsets do have built-in microphones. The Oculus Quest 2 does have external speakers that are right next to your ear, and the PSVR just utilizes the speakers found on your television. But there is support for external speakers. There is an aux cable on the side, so you could plug in an external headset with the Oculus Quest, and there's also ways you could plug in a wireless Bluetooth headset to the Quest 2. The PSVR, you also have an aux cable to plug in an external headset, or you could use a supported PlayStation headset if you want to go wireless. And then in terms of third-party support, there's a lot of third-party support, not just from first party, but the Oculus Quest 2, in my opinion, has the best accessories available in the market. Like this Elite strap, which is a first party. This is the one I use on my personal device. And you also got a lot of brands making prescription lens. The prescription lens that I'm currently using is by VR Waves, which I actually went ahead and covered in a full dedicated video, which you could watch right here if you want to learn more about my prescription experience having their adapter on my VR headset. But if you just want to use regular, like glasses, spacer is included for the Oculus Quest that will fit the majority of popular frame glasses. The PSVR doesn't have a spacer, but the headset has plenty of room that you can fit pretty much any frame glasses while wearing them. So unless you need a portable monitor, which by the way, this can be used as a portable monitor, you play like your single player games like Overwatch or Call of Duty Warzone, and wearing this VR headset, it'll display everything you see on your TV. And the gameplay experience is actually really phenomenal because inside the VR, the screen that you're viewing your gameplay, your game in, it's literally like an 80-inch television. So if you need it for that, the PSVR is a good choice. But in terms of value and the best overall virtual reality experience currently available in the market, hands down, that goes to the Quest 2. There's just so much support for it, and Oculus themselves are constantly developing new features that I would never imagine would be possible for an all-in-one VR headset. So I wouldn't be surprised if later on the Oculus Quest can actually replace your computer or your tablet for just entertainment needs. So the best overall value, Oculus Quest easily takes this award in terms of this video comparison. And when you combo the PSVR to the PlayStation 5, only some games are receiving this enhancement update, but you really do take advantage of that quicker loading time. So if you already purchased a VR headset, just make sure you order the adapter to utilize the performance on the PS5. But again, the wires just kill the fun for me. There you guys have it. That is the in-depth review between the Oculus Quest 2 against the PSVR hooked up to the PlayStation 5. Until PlayStation released the next generation PSVR, this is what we're stuck with, and those are the two choices. If you enjoyed and got some good use out of this video, don't just simply hit subscribe and hit that like button, but feel free to watch this video over here as I go through my favorite accessories for the Oculus Quest. And then that video over there, that's just a video that YouTube is recommending specifically for you. Thanks so much for watching, take care, and I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.